Emmy nominations are upon us. A Stranger Things spinoff could be coming your way. Cameron Diaz is back, and is TikTok going to save the movies?
It's all coming up on this one-year anniversary edition of The Take.
Welcome to The Take. I'm Elizabeth Wagmeister.
And I'm Clayton Davison. We're here to give you our take on some of the week's biggest stories. We have some big stories this week.
Yes, we do. And the Emmy nominations are upon us, just a few days away. You have been all over this. Give us your final predictions, Clayton.
Emmy voting is now closed. The final nominations will be announced this coming Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, and we're expected to see a lot of shows get a lot of nominations. Drama side, expect to see a lot of Succession, Ozark, Stranger Things. On the comedy side, Only Murders in the Building, Barry, Abbott Elementary, and of course on the limited series side, which is always too much to pick from, we have Made, we have Dope Sick, we have The Dropout. There is a lot of shows here. Now, looking at some history coming forward, Zendaya could be the youngest producer ever nominated because she's an executive producer on Euphoria.
And she's already made history with her Emmy win.
Yes, because she's the second Black actress and youngest actress ever win lead actress drama. She'll be now the youngest to ever have 2 nominations in that category of anyone. We have Selena Gomez, executive producer on Only Murders, could be the first Latina double nominated at the Emmys. And of course, your specialty, and you had the cover with them, the Kardashians could get their very first nomination collectively in the unstructured reality category. However, Kim Kardashian is also possible in guest actress comedy because she hosted SNL, and her beau, Pete Davidson, might be a nominee as well.
Could you imagine if they were double nominees, hit that red carpet together?
The internet would blow up.
She's broken the internet before, she would break it again. But I mean, it's just an embarrassment of riches this year. It is the most submissions for nominations ever.
Yeah.
There is really too much TV, but so much good TV. I have to admit, I was late to Only Murders in the Building, and I recently binged it, and I love it. I think Selena is so good. I know you've been gunning for her for a while to get a nomination. I really hope she does. You also mentioned The Dropout. I mean, there's just so much good TV. But one of the shows that you mentioned is Stranger Things. And of course, everybody is talking about it. But I know you have a little fun fact with the Emmys and what it's eligible for or not.
Exactly. So Stranger Things Volume 2 dropped on July 1st. Now, for Emmys, everything leading up to the last 2 episodes is eligible for this year's nominations. However, Volume 2 dropped after the eligibility period, so this will be available next year for Emmys 2023. But we did get our final look at the season finale of the 4th season. We're waiting to see what happens now, but we have some thoughts on this build up to we're gonna lose all these people, it's gonna be a bloodbath, and I love Stranger Things. However, the death cop-outs, and let me just say, spoiler take, we're gonna talk some spoilers now. The fake death outs that are now becoming a thing, I'm done with. Like Max, they teased that all season, and then to kill her for a few moments and then bring her back sort of was something that I just thought sat wrong with me. And then looking at what they did last year with Hopper, to fake kill him at the end of the season, and then to have this story arc of him going through Russia, which I can't explain to you why that really is even a thing as much at this point. The fake death out things are just not something that a TV series should adopt. And I remember The Walking Dead, you know, it used to be cool to get a character to die, and then Glenn, played by Steven Yeun, changed all of that. I don't know, what are your thoughts?
You know, I agree. I love Stranger Things, and I really enjoyed this season, but I'm in full agreement with you. There seems to be this pattern where they kill off characters, but they're not main characters. They introduce a new character to kill them off, and I think you really need to raise the stakes, because if you have, let's say, one of the kids that was killed off, then that would really impact the storyline. But now, you know, Eddie, sorry, spoiler take again, but I loved Eddie, but he's a new character. How much did we have invested in him more than just 8 episodes?
Yeah, I would say, and we were invested. Like, I seeing Eddie rip through that song and then die moments later. Listen, I still got choked up.
He was great,
but we all knew that was coming.
You would be more choked up if it was 11
or Will,
Steve, or any. Yes, exactly. But you know, it seems that the Duffer Brothers are doing just fine, because now news broke this week that there's actually a spin-off from Stranger Things in development and a stage play, so much more to come there.
But not with Steve and Eleven. They've made that clear. Will not include any of the characters.
Exactly. So spin-off plot completely under wraps, because they say they don't even know what it's going to be, but not with any of the main characters, at least at this point. But moving on to some other TV news, or maybe future TV news, I recently interviewed Chelsea Handler, and if you saw last week, she actually guest hosted Jimmy Kimmel Live because he is out on hiatus for the summer. Well, Chelsea Handler told us exclusively at Variety that she wants to make her return to late night. Now, of course, Chelsea Handler, she had her show for 7 or 8 seasons on E! Chelsea Lately. Then she worked with Netflix. She had her special HBO Max. But she told me that she is ready to make her big return to late night. And of course, I had to ask her the obvious question. James Corden is leaving CBS in 1 more year. So I said, there is technically an open slot. Would you be interested in it? And she said, yes, she has not had any conversations yet with CBS or any other venues, but that she would consider one of the main broadcast network television slots. Of course, I would be all for this because I love Chelsea Handler, but also late night has a dearth of women. Network TV, there are no women. Of course, we have some great shows from Samantha Bee and Amber Ruffin, but those aren't on the main 4 networks. So I think that it really is time to have a woman in that place. And I thought Chelsea brought her A game on Kimmel. She tackled a lot of very tough topics, and I think she did an excellent job.
There does need to be more diversity in the late night landscape. However, broadcast in this way that it's changing, and some people say it's dying, some people say it's making a comeback. It's difficult to put someone in that spot and expect, a big success if broadcast is still going downward, no matter how good that they do at the job.
Right. Much more to come there, but I'm also very excited because rom-coms are back. That's right, Clayton. There hasn't been a lot of great rom-coms for a few years, but now we are getting comedy gold. A-listers are returning. This past week, news broke that Reese Witherspoon is teaming up with Will Ferrell for a rom-com from Nick Stoller at Amazon. Also, Julia Roberts and George Clooney are playing a former husband and wife in a rom-com called Ticket to Paradise. We got our first look in that trailer. And Cameron Diaz, we have all been waiting years for this. She is officially coming out of retirement to star in an action comedy with Jamie Foxx at Netflix. I have been waiting for Cameron to come back. I think that she is one of the greatest, not just comedic actresses, but one of the greatest actors in some of the best films of the past 2 decades. And I've really missed her, so I'm excited to see her back. But also, I just love that we're getting these A-list comedies come back. It's very rare that you see huge stars of this stature paired up. So I'm excited, but what do you think?
I mean, this all signals a return back to the movies, right? Everyone wants to see what is going to get butts in seats, or in Netflix's case, what's going to get some subscribers on their couches and paying the monthly premiums. But with that, Minions broke a 4th of July record, making $125 million, the most by any film in history, beating Transformers and my childhood favorite, Independence Day. So listen, Minions is a model that shows established franchises, people will come out, they'll bring their kids out. Childhood content goes wonders, but TikTok contributing to that, because there's big stories out there about adults taking up the theater, Gen Zers taking up the theater, very little kids there. TikTok is really having an impact right now on that market, and it'd be interesting to see what comes from that.
Yeah, and what's interesting is for those who don't know the TikTok trend that you're talking about, a hashtag gentle minion started trending, and this trend is that Gen Zers basically are dressing up in suits and going in groups to the theaters to see Minions. As you said, made $125 million opening weekend. Clearly it worked, and it was even acknowledged in a tweet from the actual film thanking them. It said, we see you all showing up in your suits, thank you. And I think this is so interesting because is TikTok going to be the thing that saves movie theaters? It's kind of the new and the old are coming together. Hollywood hasn't really figured out what to do with TikTok yet, but if TikTok can be the marketing tool to really push people into theaters. We're
seeing those influencers at the screenings now. They're doing a lot of that. And listen, Tom Cruise, who just turned 60 this week, he even utilized them with Top Gun. Everyone was coming out for the movie in that aspect. So we're gonna see a lot more trials and attempts at marketing through the platform. I expect it.
Absolutely. It's interesting because obviously the movie business is in a great moment of change, but it's great that we're seeing so many butts back in seats. We're seeing these big box office numbers, and as we spoke about, huge names returning to film, whether it is streaming or in theaters. So lots more to talk about, but we are out of time for this week. We will see you next Friday right here on The Tape.
Thanks for watching.